What's up, everybody? In this video, we have Lucas, who has an agency called Scale Your Agency, and with Poppy AI, he has made over $100,000 a month. And just recently, with Poppy AI APIs, he has made $3,000 on the first day of the API launch. How much so far do you feel like you've made with Poppy?
Well, I'll put it this way: the day of the API launch, I made back immediately whatever investment would have put into the power user plan for the year. I mean, I'm at personally about $30K a month. I would say, as I mentioned with Scale Your Agency, we have everyone in there kind of using Poppy. If we're to take all that revenue, that's currently at about 100K MRR. As I said, personally, I've just made 3K from in one day. I see a lot of people talk about how do I use this, how can I make money from this. I'm like, if you just know have some ideas around this stuff, from day one you can already get your investment back and more. I would say Poppy is more than paid for itself.
Lucas, welcome. Thank you so much for your time and appreciate it. And I'm excited to talk to you about what you've been doing with Poppy AI, how that's been helping you in your agency, and how other people can implement the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much for having me on, man. Really appreciate it. Poppy has been absolutely incredible. From kind of day one, we saw there was a lot of kind of potential with it, and so I've just been using it every single day. I think if you guys find my account, I think I signed up and then immediately upgraded to power user straight away, and I was just yeah, I know I'm going to use this shit constantly. It's great.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do? And I guess, yeah, let's start with that.
Yeah, for sure. So a bit of background, I do a few things. I do have an ecom CRO and email marketing agency. Poppy's helped a little bit there. We use that kind of for email copy and for writing landing pages and stuff. But really where Poppy came into a lot of use was with the coaching programs that I work with. So I work with two at the moment, Client Ascension and ScaleYourAgency.ai. Now ScaleYourAgency.ai, really from day one, that was where we kind of started using Poppy very heavily. So it liked that straight away. We kind of knew that there was a lot of the program essentially helps people build a funnel that kind of converts cold traffic, and so there's a lot of elements that come into that. There's obviously going to be writing the funnel pages, there's going to be email sequences, there's going to be a lot of kind of content that's there. So I had an immediate thought after trying Poppy, because I just wanted it myself for my own YouTube content and stuff. I was like, this could be used by our clients to help them build out their funnels, for writing their emails and stuff. So my the person I work with mainly at the founder of Scale Your Agency is Matthew Larson. Now, Matthew is very big in kind of the YouTube space. He's got a big channel himself. If you search Matt Larson 1000X, you'll find him. He's great. And Matt has a big into systems, right? He's got a system for absolutely everything, for for how to set up your newsletter, how to set up your funnel, how to set up your YouTube, all these sort of things. So what we actually started doing was training Poppy on the sort of systems that he was developing, and we'd kind of do step-by-step instructions on exactly how these things should be set up. And then we were building out these boards. Now, I'll tell you a bit of the ways I kind of used Poppy initially, kind of the more complicated way and then the easier way. At first, what I did was I built a board that had there was about maybe 20 clients on one board, where I had one massive with three Poppy groups that had the different kind of trainings and instructions and prompts and data in there, and then there was just linking off to 20 different chats, and then a group for each client linked into those chats, so that it would be personalized for each client with all their YouTube content and their details and stuff in there. So initially we were just sign for Poppy, here's the link to the board, you'll find your thing, your chat box in here somewhere among the 20 other ones.
Just go search.
Go look, it's there somewhere, and now what we've started doing a bit is just we usually have a kind of a Google Drive with all the content in it, and then I record an SOP on how to kind of set up the Poppy board yourself, so they can have their own kind of personalized board, especially for I help them one-on-one to develop a board for their own client fulfillment as well, to help on that kind of side with their own business. But the API launch was huge. That was immediately, I was okay, this is super powerful. There's so much that I can do with this. I am in no way an automations or tech wizard, but I know my way enough around Zapier and Make and N8N and stuff like that to kind of build out some cool stuff. So as part of my own agency, the ecom one, I had this kind of idea that basically I was getting very tired of constantly making sales pages and landing pages and product pages. So I was like, how do I still deliver this without actually having to do this myself? So I came up with an offer, actually, when I was talking to one of our kind of longest running clients. I said to them, how about I install an AI system for you guys that will actually make this for you. I will give you a bunch of templates, and I'll also train a VA for you to actually make these pages.
Make what for you specifically? Landing pages copy?
Yeah, so they have there's four types of pages that they usually need. There's a kind of a sales page, there's a product page, an advertorial page, and a listicle page. So I was like, well, I can just train a Poppy bot to write each of those type of pages, and then I can give them a templates for a page builder in their Shopify theme, and then I can train a virtual assistant to actually make the pages for them. So basically, I pitched this to them, and I actually hadn't even figured out how I was going to do it yet, and they were just like, "Yeah, let's go, cool." So like they just like paid straight away, $3,000 straight away, and I was like, "Sick, let's go." And then I was like, "Okay, how do I actually do this now? What do I do?" So I initially I was like, well, I'll get them to get a Poppy account, and then all like all this sort of stuff, and then I got access to the API like the day after that conversation. And I was like, well, why don't I just build like essentially a chatbot that'll do this for them? So I tried a few existing kind of chatbot builders out there and stuff like that. But again, like I said, I'm actually not very good at this stuff. So instead, what was actually easier was I just went to bolt.new and was like, hey, here's an API key for the Poppy bot. Help me build a ChatGPT interface for this. They can select like which type of page they want to make, and then I was like, all right, that works great. Just deploy it, set up a domain, and it's just like cool. Now they can just log in. It's got a database connected, everything. It just works perfectly. So I was like, right, well, that's it, sorted now. That's my new offer I'm going to run. So
that's sick. So basically, you have it where you're using one of the chats that you trained how to make landing page copy, etc., right? And you're using that chat as the API, and then you're using bolt.new to create the interface, the front end interface for it. And then your client who paid $3,000, $3K for it, basically goes to that page and then uses the trained chat, to get himself landing page copy. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly
That's sick. And then are you using the post request or using the get request? I'm curious.
The get request, because that was, I know you sent me the details on the post ones, but initially I just had the get request, so like those were still working like perfectly. I did have a little trouble. I was trying to I had to do a bit of tinkering to make sure that the bot would still have the context of the previously sent message. So basically what it does is it like appends the previous message to the end of their next request and sends it back. Nice. So if it's like make it longer, it'll be like make it longer, and then they don't see it, but it has the original message sent attached, and then it like does it again. So
Gotcha.
That is amazing. One thing I wanted to ask is, since you've started using Poppy, you've basically like gone crazy and nuts with like everything that you've been building with it. I want to know kind of like the pre-Poppy era, like before you started using Poppy, before you got introduced to Poppy, how were you using AI? Like, were you using AI at all, or like, how were you using it? And then what were like the biggest challenges that you had, and like how Poppy changed it for you?
For sure. So absolutely, yeah. So I've been like an AI power user since day one. I was saying to Naz on a call, like I was using it back when it was like ChatGPT 3, and when like all these tools like Jarvis, which is now Jasper, and like Write were out. I was like from day one really heavily invested. So the main tool I was using for was Claude, and a lot of Claude projects, right? So a lot of what I was doing was was writing emails or writing copy, and like as I said, I'm very lazy, so I don't want to do that. So I just find like the people that are kind of the best at it, and I kind of use like a Claude project, try and train it on it and all this sort of stuff. The biggest issue I was running into really was that obviously it was a lot of time. Like if you had like a YouTube video, I'd have to go and get the transcription, and then I'd have to put it into a doc, and then I have to upload it to the Claude project. It was a longer process. And then the other thing was the kind of storage limits that were on the Claude projects, where like you upload like I'm like, okay, this is a PDF, it's only like I don't know, maybe 500 kilobytes, and it's like you've used 30% of your storage of the project, and I'm like, okay, great.
Oh wow.
So it was becoming like an issue where it just based on like the amount of content I could give it to actually work properly. And then there was still a lot of, after that copying and pasting, having to format it and all this sort of stuff. So Poppy from like day one, I could immediately see I'm a very visual kind of builder in general. Like, I always prefer like kind of the kind of whiteboard style layout of Poppy, even when it comes to other tools. Like I've used like obviously like Zapier and Make and stuff like that. And I'm a big fan of like N8N because I like that kind of kind of just drag and drop stuff and put it wherever. So like the minute I can see like, oh, you mean I don't have to spend like 20 minutes transcribing YouTube video and making a PDF and uploading it and anything, I can just paste in the video and it's there. Like I was like, that alone is just wildly helpful. And yeah, so kind of the use cases I was using for, as I said, were mainly like content creation. So like obviously it's like writing and scripting my own kind of content, making stuff for clients, a lot of like reports and stuff like that. Like I would do kind of like in our coaching program, sometimes we have like a survey we give to students. So I would take like all the responses from those surveys, and like that was like a CSV, and then put it into like Claude and trying to get it to read it and give me like a summary, all these sort of things. So all those things have made 10 times easier with Poppy. And I haven't even talked yet about the Slack chatbots that I've made since since the API got released, which has also been wildly helpful.
That's so sick.
That's-
Let me ask just one question. How much so far do you feel like you've made with Poppy?
I would I'll put it this way: the day of the API launch, I made back immediately whatever investment would have put into the power user plan for the year. So like that I think that's like one of the first things I was saying was like, I see a lot of people talk about like, how do I use this? How can I make money from this? I'm like, if you just know like have some ideas around this stuff, like from day one, you can already get your investment back and more. But I would say, like, as I mentioned with Scale Your Agency, we have everyone in there kind of using Poppy. If we're to take all that revenue, that's currently at about 100K MRR. As I said, personally, I've just made like 3K from in one day. I've add up all the kind of stuff I've made from just overall building my own kind of personal brand and profile. I mean, I'm at like personally about like 30K a month, like, so like I would say Poppy is more than paid for itself. Like it's why I think, Naz, you were surprised that both myself and Matthew had our own power user plans. We were just like, of course we do. This is like basically free.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I'm like, wait, what? Well, I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what's super cool, Lucas? Actually, because everybody loves to hear about this kind of stuff, but if possible, you don't have to show everything. I would love to at least, one, see, how your bot works with the Bolt.new stuff, what you did there. And if you can show, because I know you can share screen here, right?
Let me pull this
and
up.
then if you can maybe even show one of your like client boards, you don't have to go deeper into. You don't have to go deep into, because I know there's a lot of sauce that you probably have, and so forth. So that would be fucking amazing,
No, absolutely.
honestly.
That's no problem.
And another thing that would be amazing if we could do is, you said you've probably made about over 100 grand with the help of Poppy. Like, if we can break down into like, this is the breakdown of like how it helped. I think, because like a lot of people would be like, okay, yeah, he could just put a random number, right? Like 100K.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But like, if you can show like the breakdown of like, here's how it helped, I think that would
for sure.
like help a lot of people who's watching this video.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Cool. Let me start off by, I'm going to show you the thing I built for my client, first of all. The Bolt.new one. So I'll show you the board, the project board for that, and then I'll show you the app itself. So let me start this off. I'll share my screen. Let's do my window. So let me know when you guys, you can see it. Yep.
Oh,
so,
yes.
let's go to Poppy first, right? So these are my Poppy boards, right? And this is for my client. So the way I set these up is my boards are very messy, so apologies about that. But essentially, this is the advertorial writer chat, right? And you can see here I've got advertorial writing and advertorial examples. So I've got a bunch of content on writing advertorials, and I've got some examples of previous ones. And then every single one of these boards is linked up to just a thing about their products, and which is just their website products, and just some of their some kind of instructions for it. And so each of these, this is the advertorial writer, this is the product page writer, this is the sales page writer, and then this is the listicle writer. As you can see in here, I've got things like wireframes and stuff for and kind of like other examples of other skills and everything to go along with it, and just videos on training. So as you guys have shown with the APIs, so when I want to connect this up, say the advertorial writer, I just click the little API button here. And then I've got all the the details and stuff here that I need to get it started. So what I literally did was I went to Bolt.new, and I don't probably be able to go all the way back to the top with the chat history. But essentially, I told it, I want to make a ChatGPT interface, and I want to use. I started off by just making the advertorial writer. So I was like, I want to use this API key for this chatbot to write advertorials, and just gave it the webhook link, and it pretty much one-shotted it largely. Like I can't take a ton of credit. Like it did it pretty solidly. And, now I just choose which one I want to make, and so
Wait,
I can
and
just
that chooses. Wait. So that chooses the different APIs that you have.
Yes.
No way.
So if I check
What?
the code here, hold on, if I can see if I can find it. Here we go. So it's got each of the API keys, and it's got the prompts for each one, the kind of the system prompts for each of these. And then if I go in here and I choose, advertorial, I can just say, write me an advertorial for the sleep vac. Now it'll probably take a little second for this to run, but essentially then it goes and calls the Poppy API and it starts writing, and it'll just write out the whole advertorial.
That's
and
crazy.
And you did this with zero technical knowledge. Like, you're not a developer.
I'm not a developer. I know I can run a basic Python script. You know, I can do a little bit of Java, very, very, very little. Like, I just know how to copy and paste stuff, and I've had AI help me.
The one thing we can actually build into this is, so the reason why it takes a lot of time, because it's actually under the hood, it's streaming. You know, like when you stream stuff, it's streaming under the hood. There we go. But now you got the response. At some point, we're going to be adding streaming. So basically, your also customers, if you do something like this, they would see the responses streamed right away, right? So you don't have to wait even that much longer.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Which is
That'd
super
be fantastic. Yeah. So
this is awesome.
Yeah, so that's how I built that out. That was kind of the initial kind of way I was using this, and like so far it's been really, really good. And then to like I just connected up Supabase to give it more kind of to get the database connected up, and to give it context from previous chats and stuff. And then I just deployed it to Netlify, and I connected a domain, and now I can just go to isterilizewriter.com, and then I'll log in. And then
wow.
access. And,
dude, you're a genius, bro.
Again,
this is
terrible
crazy.
At stuff. I just had to click buttons and bolt, and yeah. So like the great thing is like now when say like I said to the guys let me know if you want me to update anything. I can just add stuff to each of these for more training. They get a new product, or they have say even a competitor who they like, a page they've done. I can just put it in here as like an example, and the bot's updated. So like it's been hugely powerful for me. That's just kind of one way of using it. Actually, let me show you some of the ways we're using it to scale your agency. I'll share my screen again. Apologies.
Let's see it.
And also, how long did it take you to set up these bots?
I think the whole process of building the bots and also the like actual interface took me about an hour.
Just an hour.
Yeah. It was. And like, I was like,
holy shit!
I need to hire you, Lucas.
I was a new developer. I don't know how to code, but I can use bolts.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So let me quickly just show this. This is for one of the for the scale your agency one. These are the massive client boards I was telling you guys about.
Oh wow.
So
it looks like a spider web.
Yeah. So this is one for writing VSL. So this is a kind of a very kind of basic one, as we've already got the system, the hooks, and some training and stuff in there already. But essentially, like these are kind of each of our clients. I'll just go down to Matthew's board just for privacy reasons. But these is kind of Matthew's board. Where we've got kind of some more kind of training and kind of information, some of his content and stuff, and then the chat connected up, so you can just say like write a VSL for whatever, kind of give the information, and it just outputs like a perfect VSL. It says exactly like Matt.
Right.
So this has been like hugely helpful. Now since then, as I said, we've kind of done more so thing where a lot of the clients want their own kind of boards, their own accounts. So we've just been doing an SOP with kind of exactly how to do it in a Google Drive with all the content they need to upload. So
yeah,
that's kind of how
in
we're
the near
using it now.
future. In the near future, we want to make it where it's like you can actually just share the board, just make a board for them, then share it with them.
I know you guys have the templates system there. Like I feel like that'd be incredible to have access to. Where like that I could just build out like a VSL board, and then they could just copy it to their account. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Let me ask this question, because how do you feel like the visual aspect of Poppy AI, does that help you in any shape or form? Compared to like if you were to use like Cloud projects, or I think ChatGPT now has projects as well. Does that help you in any shape or form? I'm curious.
Yeah, like I said, like I've always been a very visual builder. I find it a lot easier to. There's two things. One, I hate watching video tutorials. I always have, because I can like read something and like skim the information and get it faster than listening to an hour-long video. Anytime I bought a course and it was like, here's 300 videos, I was like, oh fuck, So like, the Poppy being able to like use kind of a more visual sort of way where I like that, I use it just all of them for summarizing stuff. I'll pull in a bunch of videos and they'd be like, make me a detailed report on exactly how to do X, Y, Z, and able just to read through that has been incredibly helpful. But like the visual style of it for me makes a lot more sense. Like when I'm trying to figure out how I want to organize stuff. So like say for instance, how like you might have make multiple groups, right? And one might be like examples of something, and then the other might be like instructions and training. When I was trying to do that, you know, in say a Claude project, I'd be having to like define that by text. It'd have to be like, you know, in your knowledge base there is these are the examples, these are the training, you know. Whereas with this, it's just already just label it, you know, label it like, you know, examples, label training, and then that's it. It's good to go. So that sort of stuff, like, I'd say the time saved from Poppy has been absolutely phenomenal. Like it's been really, really good. You know,
if we were to put a, yeah, exactly. I was thinking, like, let's get really specific with this. You know, all the numbers, like how many hours, let's say, before Poppy versus after Poppy. Before Poppy, this is exactly how I used to do it. And since I've gotten Poppy, since I've gotten APIs, this is how I do it. And this is how much time I'm saving.
I would say that I would, on average, if I think about, say, I was building a Claude project to write, say, I was going to do static ads for a client, right? And so what I would need to go and get a bunch of examples of static ads, and then I would need to upload those to a Claude project, and then I would need to give it, like, there's instructions. That could take me anywhere from 2 to 3 hours to do all of that.
Right.
Now, I would say it takes me maybe 30 minutes, because all I have to do is just copy the ads, paste directly to Poppy,
right.
give it the prompts, done. You know, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, Poppy's really good, actually, and I think most people don't really use this that much, is it follows, like, wireframes and layouts perfectly. So, like, when I was doing, like, landing pages and stuff like that, I would take, like, I've got, like, Figma wireframes, which is kind of the basic layout of the page, and I just put them in there as, like, an image, and just be like, you know, write it for, you know, I like, linked another client's, like, existing website, and was like, you know, write a new page for this following this wireframe. Perfect copy, you know, already done, all good to go.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So if you do this every day, so you're saying, you know, let's just say you went from, you know, using 2 to 3 hours to like 30 minutes. I'm not sure if you do this every day, but if you do this every day, how many hours would you say you would have saved in a month?
In a month, I would say about 100 hours. If I had to guess, like, honestly, 80 to 100 hours. I'd say about 20 hours a week, because I do this every single day. You know, I would say like honestly, anywhere from like 20 hours a week or so. Like is probably safe by just using Poppy. It's all cut down like to like a quarter of that, if even. Like, it's crazy how good.
And then, how many people on your team uses Poppy? And, like, let's say, like, the entire company itself, how many hours do you guys save as a result?
Oh God, I mean, like, if we're at, like, I think about like 40 clients or so in Scale Your Agency, and they're pretty much all using Poppy, I think. So, you know, I'd say if you add up, like, we have a list of, like, maybe like 20 deliverables they have to create as part of their funnel, and each of them could take anywhere from, like, you know, let's say 5 to 15 hours. I'd say they're probably cutting that time in half for every single one of them. I would say it's you know, easily every client's probably saving at least 100 plus hours a month. Like, I'd say doing this, like, that was like, we realized pretty quickly that, like, the reason this offer has worked really well is that it's basically build a funnel that converts extremely well and, like, save 50 plus hours per week in like doing it. Like, that's literally our
holy
our
shit.
Like, that's literally our headline on our thing, you know. So, like, it has been, like, incredibly, like, we saw right from the beginning the kind of the use cases for Poppy outside of just, like, content creation and stuff like that. We were like, this is actually an incredible, like, productivity tool, and for creating sort of content that other people kind of wouldn't really think of.
That's amazing, man. I'm so happy to hear that. And you're like 40 clients. So what's crazy when I was talking to you is you're like, yeah, basically how you do it is your clients have to buy Poppy, and then you basically set up the boards for them on Poppy. And I'm like, oh my God, that's genius. Like, Poppy is part of the offer, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah. Like, we like, the minute I got access, I was just like this is, like, so wildly powerful. Like, there's so much we can do with it. Like, we have, like, Poppy boards for handling sales objections, Poppy boards for like, you know, appointment setting scripts, like Poppy boards for, like, all sorts of stuff that, like, is I'd say is quite different for the average kind of use case kind of for Poppy. Although, like, I've been very active in the Poppy WhatsApp chat, and I've seen a lot of people kind of asking, you know, like, how can they kind of use this as part of their business. So I've been kind of, like, enjoying coming up with new kind of unique ways. You know, there was someone there was saying that they do like a kind of a travel sort of service where they kind of help people, like, with itineraries and stuff. And I was like, well, use Poppy API to make a lead magnet. You have a page with a form where it's like, tell me where you want to go, what do you want to do. I said they input their email. I said then, you know, they get an immediate email to Poppy response that is, like, you know, a summary of kind of a short version of the itinerary, and then it's like, join our group to, like, you know, unlock the full one. And then when they join the full one, they get access to a full-fledged Poppy bot that, you know, gives them, like, all the full travel itinerary details and stuff. And I was like, that's just a lead magnet page, you know. It's all it takes. It's a zap, it's a form, you know.
Dude, Amanat, we should do a training and have Lucas on there as well, which would be super fun.
Yeah.
we're like for the Poppy community, right? And
Yeah.
Lucas, we'll be happy for you to mention your agency because maybe someone
Yeah,
might
sure.
be interested
Right.
in like just using your agency as well, right? And we should do like a training that can later on even
Yes.
go on YouTube, right? I mean, this will also go on YouTube, by the way. And then we'll put your links, Lucas, as well, if people want to check out your agency and what you do as well. So, don't worry about that. And then, and
Yeah,
we'll
we should 100% do the training.
yeah, we'll do a
Like that
training.
would be sick.
And
I'm
imagine
down,
we do
100%.
something like Bold Died New, right? With everybody,
Yeah.
right? With everybody on the, in the thing. That would be fucking amazing, no?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I honestly, I see like a world where like maybe like even less than a year from now, people are running Poppy agencies where like the whole thing is like using Poppy as like the main tool for building solutions for clients, like, that's
That would
100%
be
gonna a
insane.
thing.
Dude, I'm really curious for you. What would you want to do? What would you want Poppy to do more? Because we're working on something really cool right now. We're working on something really special right now.
Nice.
I can't say it right away, but just imagine that Poppy will pretty much do everything for you. Even the finding and everything. So what would you want Poppy to do like next, right? And I'm asking this question because this will give me feedback on what are the things we should prioritize versus not. So
Yeah.
you let me know. What do you think?
If you guys want to get really cracked with it, there's like two things that maybe come to the front of my mind. Giving essentially the chat like direct internet access, I think will be huge, or like being able to scrape and pull it like content like automatically, which I'm sure some of you guys have considered. The other one
Yeah.
would be, and this would be obviously a much bigger kind of undertaking, but if you guys could essentially get like automations in there to a degree where you could have like, choose where you want the content to go out to, like almost like it'll zap your sidebar, that's like,
Yeah.
like output this chat to here, and then like a kind of, basic kind of, if then kind of set rules and stuff. I think that
Yeah.
would be like wildly powerful.
I feel like we cannot say too much.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
feel like
great
I'm probably
ideas.
predicting stuff, but I don't want to ruin it. But like, just if I think for my use cases, like it's like now, say with the Poppy API chat, I've made a bunch of Slack chat bots. So I did all these yesterday. I made like 10 yesterday, and they're essentially review bots. So they analyze like say like a client's like VSL script or their cold emails, and then it kind of in the Slack it outputs like a response, and that's just a basic
Yeah.
zap. It's literally like Zapier reads like the channel. It finds the new message. It sends the message to the Poppy API. It outputs the response back into the message thread. So,
That's
like if I get to set that up inside of Poppy, and pay you guys even more for that sort of, that sort of a tool, then I think that would be like insanely powerful.
Wait, so you're saying you have Slack bots, and what are those Slack bots used for right now specifically? Is it within your internal your internal group right now, or internal team right now, or for clients?
So these are for our clients. I'm looking at the Slack right now. We have an ad copy analyzer. We have a cold email analyzer. We have an email flow analyzer, a lead magnet analyzer, a sales analyzer, a tweet analyzer, a VSL analyzer, and a YouTube intro analyzer. So
What the
Wow.
yeah, so these essentially what they do is the client just has to paste in like a script, and then the Poppy API responds with like the breakdown of like the script and what they could improve on it. They can make it better.
And it's they paste in the script to what, like an Instagram video, a TikTok video, or like a tweet, correct?
Yeah, so like they take like they're at the moment they're writing their newest YouTube video, and they've got kind of like their title and their intro kind of like done. They want to see if it's any good. They just go to the Slack chat. They just paste in the text of the the intro, and then it will just respond.
Ah, that's genius. That's so genius. So basically, it's a helper for them. Like, hey, if I'm trying to make like a YouTube video on this title, right? You paste in the YouTube title. I'm trying to make this tweet. It will give you suggestions like how to improve on this tweet, or if this tweet is good or not.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so
I
genius.
actually just also made one last night for Client Ascension for an offer creation bot. So you literally have to go in and say, I want to make an offer that's placing virtual assistants in e-com businesses or something. And it will just immediately, based on Fazio's YouTube and training, make you a full like offer, like the risk reversal, the guarantee, like the like pricing, the way you should frame it, the sales argument, everything.
Dude, that's fucking.
What I love about this is like how you've integrated basically everything into like a client's like what do you call fulfillment, right? Because like instead of just coaching someone on like just teaching them like here's what you need to know, they're basically getting access to like almost your brain and like how you would do it, and then they're able to like replicate it. So like
Absolutely.
like how has that affected like client satisfaction, like maybe retention or satisfaction, and like before, how would they do it versus now?
Yeah, 100%. So like we have a school group as well. Like I can tell, like just from like metrics wise, things like conversion rate and churn and that have gone like have been way better just because they're getting kind of like detailed information sort of quicker. There's we are giving them access to like certain bots and stuff. So there's like obviously more of an incentive to join and stuff like that. That sort of stuff has been like hugely helpful. So it's. It's really like a case of the big thing I think the clients really see is like the time saving, and also like I always like for me what AI and especially with like Poppy, what it's been has been it offloads a lot of mental bandwidth. It might be you might be able to write a YouTube script amazingly, right? You might be really good at that stuff. But it might take you an hour to do. You got to sit down, you got to come up with ideas, you got to do like all this research and stuff. Whereas it's maybe 15-20 minutes of Poppy where you can just dump in a bunch of like competitor videos or similar ideas, and then it follows like the prompts you wrote once on like how you should format it, and then you just get out a perfect script. So I think that the biggest benefit for our clients really has been saving them that kind of mental bandwidth. It's been getting results quicker. It's been setting up their funnels faster, and just overall, I think increasing like efficiency across the board. I think it's been hugely helpful for them.
And talking about client results, like since they've started using this, like what's like the biggest success story that you've had with them? Like maybe they closed a big deal, maybe they got a video that went viral. Like what's a good success story that you have?
So like we have a client, Luca Masserato. He runs an email marketing agency called Grow Pronto, and like I know for personally, Luca was one of the first people I knew that I got kind of interested in Poppy, and he started using it. And now that it's taken over his entire client fulfillment, like that is like he obviously has to write. He has multiple. He's at about I think 100+ K per month with his email marketing agency. And he's writing emails every single day. That's a huge part of what he does. It is for a lot of, especially, and this is something that I think that in an area that I love Poppy, but I think you guys are obviously focused on creators. I think you're missing out on a little niche here, which is agency guys, because I host a weekly call in Client Ascension on use cases for AI in agencies. Every single email marketing agency dude turns up to that call and is like, help me improve my Poppy board. Like every single one of them. Like it is the main thing that they use it for is like the copy for emails and stuff like that. So like it's wildly powerful for that. And like all those guys have like massively increased like either they can basically hire less people and take on more clients because they don't no longer need like a copywriter or for like every single brand. They have like one or two copywriters that then their job is just running the Poppy bots that's trained on each client, and they can do like do even more with it. So it's definitely been huge there. As I mentioned, like Luca's definitely saved a ton of time. He runs his entire fulfillment. He's I think now just down to like only 3 like kind of client managers, and that's it, like to run like an agency doing 150K plus per month, like for email marketing.
Wow. And like the biggest driver is Poppy, part of that business. It's like a full-time, like multiple employees at this point.
That's exactly it. And that's why the API is so powerful, because the only thing that's missing then is like automating that, which obviously you can do with the API.
Yeah. It's like I was thinking about this yesterday. I was today actually at a coffee shop with Lance. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I'm thinking about not just Poppy AI, but like ChatGPT and Claude and so forth. And I'm like, I kind of feel like people should be willing to pay $1,000 a month minimum for AI in general. I feel like because because I'm like, if you think about it, it's like another person, right? It's like another person that's helping you in every single sort of way, right? In every single direction. May that be, by writing scripts, may that be for your clients, for filming, right? Like, a normal person, for example, that might be doing this might charge you, I don't know, $4,000, $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month, potentially even more, right? So I'm like, honestly, like AI and how it is about, it's like, right now we have like ChatGPT and people pay like $30 a month. But I'm like, I feel like the normal thing will become like, oh, I'm willing to pay $1,000 a month just for AI because it's helping you so much. So that is fucking exciting, man. I fucking love it, man, and what we're doing here. One last question for you, Lucas. Like, how do you feel like, where do you feel like you will go next? One, in your agency, and potentially using Poppy in your agency. Where do you think you'll go next from now on?
For sure. So, well, the next kind of experiment I want to run is, you guys heard of Manus? It's kind of like the
Yes.
it's the competitor to like kind of ChatGPT's operator. I'm going to try to get that to build a Poppy board. I'm going to see if it's able to do it. And I'll probably do a video on that and kind of record it, and going to see how if it can pull it off. So if I can get it to that level where I can just be like, log into my Poppy and make a Poppy board for this, and then connect up a Zap to it. I think it'd be crazy.
Hold on, what are you saying?
That would be insane.
I'm gonna test that and see if that can be done. And if that works, then this is like literally a case now of Poppy's becoming like such a central key part of like my kind of daily operations, and for our clients as well. It's just going to be kind of using it more and seeing kind of like what are the unique use cases that we can use for this in order to kind of provide even more value. So obviously we, as I mentioned, use it a lot for content, but now with the API access, as I mentioned, like chatbots, I think like lead magnet forms would be a huge like way to do this. I think like another thing that might be cool is for you guys in the future potentially is maybe image generation there at some point. Maybe
It's coming. Once ChatGPT releases that,
I was gonna say once the API is out, for that'd be fire. Yeah, I mean, like because I'm in my head thinking like lead magnets. If you could send things like flowcharts and stuff to clients to potential leads, be huge. I think there's a whole marketing side of kind of use cases for Poppy that I'm really just trying to flesh out and kind of explore more, because I just think like it is like genuinely so valuable. I think that it's going to be huge over the next while, and I think that you guys have been innovating on it really fast, and you've been like adding a lot to it very quickly, and so I fully expect that it's going to be like even better than it already is. So like I can't see this like slowing down anytime soon. Also, but if it ever does go away, all of our shit's fucked. Please make sure this company doesn't go down. Like we need you guys.
No, we're not going.
That was literally what I was thinking about asking. Is like, if suppose let's say Poppy just disappears tomorrow, like how fucked are you?
I'm spending 48 hours trying to rebuild Claude projects like poorly. Like is what I'm doing. I'm just gonna lose my mind. It would really suck. I obviously hope that doesn't happen. But I think that this is just like it's easily as I said, I've used every AI tool out there, like not just obviously the like ChatGPT and Claude, but like all these kind of ones that are different wrappers for doing different things and stuff, and none of them have come close to how good Poppy is in terms of following tone of voice and like instruction and like as I said, like following like wireframes and visuals, and just the ease of use of like before, if I wanted to get like training on how to do something, I'd be either looking for like books or like, previous instructions or PDFs, like all this sort of stuff. In comparison, like now I just go, everything's on YouTube, dude. Everyone's done an hour-long video on how to do everything, So now it's like grab that. There we go. And now I'm a genius. Like it's like fixed. I know how to do the thing. I think it. I think it's really powerful, and I can only see this getting bigger and better, and I'm looking forward to finding even more use cases for it. I've only just scratched the surface of the API. Like even as I'm doing stuff now, I feel like I'm already kind of limiting myself. There's definitely more I can do with this. I got to figure out other kind of ways to do this.
Yeah, we're already thinking about next step for API already, and there's definitely some exciting things that we have in the plans, and hopefully you'll be the first one to test them out.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, but I guess at this point, I don't want to take up too much of the time anymore. But like at this point, do you feel like for you, Poppy, and now even upgrading to the Power User Plan, do you feel like that has been worth it for you?
Nah, not at all. Yeah, dude. Yeah, holy shit. It's been absolutely amazing. Like I said, it was a complete no-brainer for me. Like it was just like, yeah, of course I'm going to do the Power. I think I used it for a day. I bought like when I first got it like a month or two back, I got like just the basic sort of plan or whatever, and I think I lasted like 3 days, and I was like, I need more credits immediately. I'm just going to go directly to the Power User Plan. Like it was like an absolute no-brainer. Like and that was before the API was released. Like I feel like like you guys are doing a really good real job of like explaining the API, but I still feel like it hasn't really clicked to people how powerful this is. Like it's being before, if you wanted to train an AI, like because I had friends that did this, like you would have to go and learn how to use the OpenAI developer playground. You have to learn how to make a JSON-L file that is like trained on all this data, and like it was a hugely technical sort of thing. And now it's just like you just drag a bunch of YouTube videos into a board, and you gotta just connect it up with a Zap, you're done. Like it's crazy how good it is. Actually, as we're we're talking, my clients just messaged me and were like, just logged into the platform. This is incredible. So this is,
Hell yeah.
I just see it on my phone here. They've just tried it out for the first time. So like, I mean, like, yeah, it's so powerful. You know, I can't get over how good kind of Poppy's been, and just how much better it's going to get. So thank you guys for making this, because it's been hugely powerful.
Of course.
That's amazing, man.
Of course, man. Well, Lucas, man, dude, so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate, the conversation and, just your feedback and so forth. I'm super excited for where it's going to go next for you. And, one, you're doing an amazing job with your scaling agency and how creative you are with AI. I feel like a lot of agencies are not doing that, and they really should be doing that, right? They need to be learning how to use AI in their platforms. And so you're doing a fucking epic job, and so I'm super excited for you for where you're gonna go, because I definitely think you're gonna beat that 100K a month that you're doing right now, like way further. And we're happy to be there to help you scale that to even 200K, 300K, and 400K a month. So we're gonna be there by your side to help you get there.
That's our aim, is 200 clients ASAP. So
Hell
that's
yeah.
There we go.
That's the move. Yeah.
There we go. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Other than that, I don't know if you guys have anything to say, but if you do not get in touch with Lucas, there might be some links here down below. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, brother.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Okay. Peace.